entertainment.
I see. We are here to talk about WWE Raw. We just got finished watching. Well, I just got finished watching it. You were done watching it, what, an hour ago?
Man, probably something like that.
Somewhere in that ballpark. So we're going to talk about it now. This is actually earlier than we usually do. We usually wait till the next day to talk about a show, but we're gonna try and get them out a little quicker now.
Mm-hmm.
And hopefully that meets with your approval. As per usual, I'm Mike. He is Byron.
Mm-hmm.
Now let's get rolling.
Mm-hmm.
So we open up the show recapping Roman and Braun Strowman. Nothing to say there. And then we get to a cast promo, which... take it away, boss.
Too long, no content.
Well, there is that. I had other problems with it.
Well, the main problem is that he just really looked really nervous the entire time, which I don't understand. He's supposed to be like the big badass heel. He just did big badass heel stuff. Why does he keep looking off camera repeatedly? I don't get that. And he's put out bigger, better promos before, but I think, this is the big, full-fledged, spreading my wings moment, and he kind of was really nervous about it. That's about all I got.
He seemed like he was overwhelmed by the moment, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the content wasn't great. There's a lot of him just telling you, don't jump on my bandwagon, but I keep thinking to myself, then how are you where the money is at? This whole thing is, I'm where the money is at, blah! And it's like, well, if no one likes you, how's that going to be money?
Correct.
No one's going to buy your shit.
Correct.
That's kind of my problem, is that a heel is supposed to be kind of delusional, but they're supposed to be like the hero of their own story, and Cass is like actively telling you to hate him, which doesn't work that well.
This must be Vince's new drug-fueled, or Metamucil-fueled planning strategy thing, maybe, I guess.
And then he just got onto like an infinite loop about how big he is, and then Big Show came out and, showed him how big he is.
Well, as soon as you see no one can look me straight in the eyes, I'm like, well, there is one guy.
There is a guy. Perhaps you know him.
Even, isn't Doc Gallows almost? He's not quite as tall.
Gallows is like
he's
6'9".
He's pretty close.
Yeah, he could probably look Cass in the eye.
Yeah. So, it was kind of like, that was a weird, red flag that went right up. And other than that, he's done better promos before, and I don't really have a problem with him not having the best promo of the night, because he's allowed to have a night off.
Yeah, he's allowed to, but the next one better be somewhat better than this, because... Mm-hmm. And the other problem is, we weren't given a reason to think Cass is the money. We really weren't. Yeah. It was just, I'm big. It's like, wow, Vince McMahon is speaking to me through Cass.
Yeah, he's not particularly well built, and he's just a large guy, which is fine.
There has to be something else, though. There are other big men on the roster. Case in point, The Big Show. If you're not the biggest man on the roster, you need to give me a reason other than size to care. And this failed to do so.
Yeah, it really does feel like whoever in the back is behind the Enzo Cass feud, is really trying to give them every opportunity to succeed. The problem is that they're giving them way too much rope. They're giving them way too much time. I think the Cass promo went on for 6 or 7 minutes, and I don't know. Maybe he had to just keep promoing because they wouldn't cue the Big Show. I don't know. But it just get too long. Not enough content, too long.
That basically sums it up, yeah. So we're off to a bad start. Then we get Elias Sampson doing his song thing.
I skipped it.
It's not a bad song, but it's got the same problem as repetitively, that this gimmick just isn't very good.
Yeah, that's why I skipped it.
And then Finn Balor came out, and we had actually a really good match, but it's mostly was a really good match because honestly Finn Balor could entertain me if you put him in there with a punching bag and just told him to drop kick it repetitively.
I'm honestly starting to get tired of Finn Balor because he's just having the same match over and over and over and over. He's becoming the new Rey Mysterio, and Rey Mysterio was only ever allowed to have one match. The problem is that he had to have that match every single night for like 10 years.
The thing is with Rey is that it made a level of sense because a lot of the guys he's working with could not do anything else. It makes less sense here because you're in a generation with a lot of very good workers that Finn Balor can have 4+ star matches with. And
honestly, I'd love to see him on SmackDown instead of Raw because they have wrestlers on SmackDown.
Well, they even have some wrestlers on Raw that he could put up great matches with, but instead we got him in here with Elias Sampson, and I don't know, either he's being given the same match over and over again, or Sampson's not capable of working any other match with him. Either way, something needs to change.
Yep.
If it's the former, they need to give him permission to do some other stuff, and if it's the latter, he needs to feud with someone who's not Elias Sampson.
Yep.
Hardys came out, coup de grace for the 3, as per usual. Hardys came out to give their compliments, basically, and then get into their own promo. So, take it away, Byron.
It was good. Liked it. There was multiple broken Hardys hints, intimations, things left unsaid, and things said directly. We had
fade away and classify ourselves as obsolete. We had broken, flat up said.
Yeah.
Proclamation.
Corey Graves referred to Matt Hardy as Brother Matt on commentary. So, I mean, I may be reading more into that particular thing than...
He's done that before, so I wouldn't read a ton into that particular part.
We're going to anywhere.
They said broken, proclamation, fade away. Like, it's clear that someone backstage or just Matt himself thinks that we're getting this gimmick soon.
Yeah, it could be. Or they already have it. They're kayfabing the whole thing, which is weird because they can't... I heard more industry terms dropped on live promos, live commentary, and or interview segments tonight than I've heard ever before. What the fuck?
Maybe since Vince Russo was doing WCW.
Holy shit. Can we have a little bit of suspension of disbelief here? Is that not allowed anymore? Am I too old? Am I too old to be watching wrestling where I expect not to be told that something's a gimmick match? Or, what was somebody dropped, damn it, I can't remember who, somebody just flat out used, I would expect to hear Dave Meltzer say this on his podcast. I don't remember what the line was, to be honest. I don't remember, but I was flabbergasted that somebody would say, a flat industry term on the air, straight up.
They have been doing that a little bit lately.
I just figured it was Booker T being an idiot, but it seems to be a larger idiocy, and I don't understand.
So then we get a match with the Club, because the Club came out, talked some shit, and we wound up with a match. I did like the Club line of, these are not the Hardys of old, these are just the old Hardys. So.
Yeah.
And of course they are nerds.
Yep, and they said, go work on your magic elsewhere because we are magic killers. So, fantastic.
Which played into the fact that they got the win with the magic killer. It was a bit of a dirty win because Gallows kicked Matt in the back of the head while he was not the legal man.
I'm fine with it.
No, I'm perfectly fine with it. It's just, it saves the Hardys' face a little bit while giving the Club a much-needed win.
Nerds.
So, this was not by any means like a match I want to watch again. And these 4 men could have a much better match. But you know what? Yeah. It did its job very adequately.
Yeah, and it just goes to show that the Club is still the best tag team on the roster, and they don't get any ring time. I don't expect to see the Club back in the ring until after Survivor Series at this point if they keep fucking holding them back.
Well, they're pretty much an enhancement tag team at this point, and it's painful that they left New Japan for this.
Yeah.
Then the Revival came out to be chop guys and destroy the Hardys for a bit.
Yeah, that was a bit weird, but again, if we get the broken Hardys out of it, I'm good with it.
I think it was just you get the Revival on TV, frankly, which, we could have killed the segment that's coming up next, which is the Mizzies, and made that happen.
Or cut 99% of your promo packages and recap packages, and Jesus.
They did indeed play somewhat the same recap packages for Braun and Roman kind of repetitively.
From skipping all of the promo packages and replay packages, like you said, I managed to finish Raw an hour ahead of you. So, and I also skipped the entire Miz sequence. I stopped skipping when Scruffy came out to attack Fluffy.
Well, I mean, keep in mind, I skipped the promo packages because I watched part of the show live and then had to go back to the beginning, and I did skip the promo packages from the part where I wasn't watching live. And I admittedly skipped Son of the Mizzies, and you still finished way ahead of me, so there you go.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so, I mean, I skipped the entire Miz segment until Scruffy came out to attack Fluffy, and then the Fluffy pack attacked Scruffy, and then Greasy came out to save Scruffy, and then Fluffy and Greasy and Scruffy are now doing a thing, and then maybe the Big Grease himself will get involved, and then we'll have Shield versus the Fluffy pack.
I will basically put names to some of that.
I don't think it's necessary. The
we did Mizzy's bit, and I'm gonna give two pros to this segment, and only two. Number one is I really did enjoy the screen flashing applause when they were giving out the awards. I did enjoy that.
That is a good touch.
I enjoyed the fact that we did get basically poking fun at the fact that Dallas and Axel were very underutilized before they became part of the Mr. Rush.
That's fair.
So those are my two pros, and they insulted Seth Rollins. Ambrose came in, got beat down. Rollins made the save. Moving on. We had a recap package for Braun and Roman again. We had an Angle 24 package
Again.
Then we had a bit of a... Well, I think that was the first one of the night, but there were like three. Ooh. Then we had Ambrose and Rollins talking. I did like that Ambrose still doesn't trust Rollins. There's a little bit of continuity to that. And,
I would have felt better if he would have just done something. Like give Rollins a stunner, or just smack him one with something. Or something. Just like, haha, I fucking owe you that, you son of a bitch. And then you can just move past it.
That would have been better, yeah. And they say there will be no Shield reunion, therefore there will be a Shield reunion.
Yeah, boy. I mean, they're all in the same goddamn program.
Then we have Sasha Banks and Bayley versus Nia Jax and Alexa Bliss. Take it over, sir.
I missed that one entirely. I did not watch that match. I didn't even know that happened.
Okay, well then I will cover it.
It sounds like it was probably just a way to bury Bayley and then get the...
No. This was actually not bad.
Hold on. Let me fantasy book this here for a second.
Okay.
Like, I'm just gonna guess the match. They take about 70 or 80 minutes of intros and promo packages, and then walk down to the ring, and then more promos, and then all that stuff. And finally, they're in the ring, and they start the match. And Alexa Bliss just kind of waves a hand in the air, and then Bayley falls over, and she eats the pin 1, 2, 3. Is that how it went?
No, that's not how it went.
Oh, well, that's weird.
Okay, so on the bright side, basically they let Nia Jax look strong throughout the match while giving Bayley and Sasha Banks the win. Bayley got to pin Alexa Bliss. That is kind of the downside because your champion just ate yet another pin.
It's a good way to keep your champion strong, man. You'll notice that the champions always get pinned. Always. There's no reason to invest any hope in any champion.
There was also my second biggest pet peeve with commentary, only it was in reverse of what it normally is, which is I always hate that when Michael Cole goes, "It's a cheap shot," and Corey Graves is like, "No, it's not a cheap shot, no," and it's like, it's clearly a cheap shot. For the love of God, you're being a delusional heel. In this case, it was Corey Graves going, "That's a cheap shot, but it's a smart cheap shot," and then Cole going, "I don't know if that's really a cheap shot." I'm like, yes, it is. What the hell is wrong with you people? Oh, God damn it, it was... Oh, my brain wanted to explode.
I'm a heel on TV, guys. Look, witness me!
Oh, this time it was actually delusional face commentary.
Witness me! Get me
worse.
over!
But basically the deal was that Sasha Banks was chasing Bliss around the ring, and they went into the ring chasing, and Nia Jax stopped to kind of give, Banks the business, and Bayley kicked her in the back of the knee. And it's like... it's a cheap shot. Like, yeah, that is a cheap shot. You did technically attack someone from behind. Can we stop having a debate on commentary over what the definition of a cheap shot is? Because it's really stupid.
Yes.
Bayley actually had some nice intensity here. She actually used the ropes as a weapon against Nia Jax, which is kind of neat. Did kind of a neck breaker type deal on while she was out on the apron on the ropes, which is not very hardcore, but it's more hardcore than Bayley has been. So, progress. And the end of the match comes with Nia Jax throwing Sasha Banks to the outside with the biggest overreaction for an under the bottom rope throw I've ever seen from commentary. Like, I can't remember if it was Graves or Cole, but one of them was like, "Oh my god!" And I'm like, that was nothing. Okay.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Jax goes outside to continue the beat down on Banks, but she misses a cannonball and hits the barrier herself and kind of takes herself out.
Nice.
And Bayley rolls up Bliss for the 3. So, aside from Bliss eating the pin, I actually like this match.
Fair enough. It sounds like they were allowed to have an match that had character work and didn't just bury characters pointlessly. Also, can we have
Did have
like
a dumb
second
face spot in
generation?
it though that I'm forgetting is
yeah?
Sasha Banks comes in the ring to after she's been hit by Bliss on the outside. Like Bliss's legal woman, she does the typical forearm shot to the non-legal face. And then Banks comes in the ring to allow them to double team Bayley for a while the referee's distracted with her, and it's like, dumb faces.
Classic. Can I just say that due to our very recent discussion about cheap shots, I would like to have a second generation. Brain's not working. Damn it! Names of tag teams that were great that I enjoyed. We need a second generation bushwhacker like a descendant, and then they can their finisher can be the sheep shot.
I like that. Then we had a Gold Dust promo. Would you like to take this one?
No.
That was good, actually. I like it.
I love Goldust promos, especially this. He quoted Reservoir Dogs with a nice meaty tooth bite sound. So that was a little off-putting yet thrilling. And it's just classic Goldust being classic Goldust. The guy's fantastic. I would pay... If you replaced every replay package and hype package that takes up way too much time on this goddamn show with just Goldust vignettes, your ratings would go through the roof, dude. There's no.
It would be a lot better.
Your ratings are crashing because you don't know who to put on TV. You put Goldust on TV, for fuck's sake.
I liked it. I particularly was cracking up when he goes, when he gets in. Sequels are usually not anywhere nearly as good as the original, but let's be honest, everything about me is weird.
Yeah. Nothing about me is normal. I enjoyed that. It
was good. I like that. Then we had
very good.
Then we had R-Truth versus Goldust. The match was okay, not very good. Goldust was good in it. Truth was bad in it.
Yes, this was and I believe I said it before. I kind of spoiled that for you before you'd seen the match. This match really highlights the.
I had already seen this match.
Oh, had you? Okay.
That. Yeah, like this was where you were still catching up to me at this point.
Yeah, this perfectly exemplifies the difference between R-Truth and Goldust, just as wrestlers, about how good Dustin Runnels really is versus the. I've never been an R-Truth fan. I'm a pretty Ricky fan, weirdly enough, because I think it's wacky and zany.
Yeah, but you were a fan of the character as opposed to any matches he had.
Yeah, that's true. Did he have matches as Pretty Ricky? I never saw any matches as Pretty Ricky.
He fought John Cena.
Oh my god, I gotta find that. Okay. But because Pretty Ricky's unreasonable and totally hyped out of his mind, and really should be paired with Mojo Rawley.
It's like Mojo Rawley on more drugs.
Yeah. So, I thought that was hilarious, but I've never enjoyed R-Truth or Ron Killings or K-Quick or R-Quick or Strawberry Quick or whatever nicknames he's going by. He raps badly. He's just a spot monkey. He's never learned to have an actual match. And it's in this match, it was a perfect example of I'm going to do a spot and then really wait. And then do a spot and then really wait, etc. Whereas Goldust really knows how to have a whole match. And really knows how to fill in spots between spots. So,
Goldust's expertise is filling in between the spots because his spots are not necessarily all that good.
But I mean, the whole thing is great, except for when it's supposed to be time for K-Quick to have his goddamn offense.
I will say I have seen R-Truth, not as R-Truth, mind you, but as Ron Killings in TNA Impact, have good matches. I don't know what the secret is to them. I don't really. I will say it was always with a really, really good wrestler, so this is not me even trying to say that you underrate him as a wrestler, just more that I think there is a way to get a good match out of him that they're not doing. I just don't know what it is.
Yeah,
I don't know what the secret sauce is.
Don't have a clue.
As it were.
No clue.
Because, yeah, this was not very good. Then we had a segment that I'm really mixed on. I'm going to let you talk about it originally, and it's Kurt Angle, Paul Heyman, and Brock Lesnar. Take it away, because I want to kind of compose my thoughts here for a moment.
Well, we got the, first of all, Angle keeps flubbing his lines, which is either hilarious or sad, I can't decide. He cannot say WWE. He says stuff like WWE or DBB, or it's just kind of really weird. Heyman's great as always, and then we get Roman Reigns comes down and starts this, my yard, me talk like robot, winding down on battery. Which is no good. I actually do like him. It was like 3 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, he came down and he was grinning, he was smiling, he was engaged.
Oh, you mean I just want to say something. You might like it. No. Actually, that was after. I think it was the week before. It wasn't really anything he said, or it was just the way he was doing it that was totally different than this my yard. Me, yeah, delivery is much more important than the actual content a lot of the time.
Exactly. So, I mean, he comes down and does "There's my yard, me big dog," and it's okay. And then Samoan Joseph comes down, and it goes off the rails. I don't know if there's legit heat between him and Lesnar, or if they just have fantastic chemistry. Like, I don't know if they're in the back and they just go, listen, let's just kind of go for it, and we'll see what happens. But at some point, you can tell that they're no longer on script. And Joe's taking shots. And he's like, you look at me when I'm fucking talking to you, and all kinds of stuff. Also, at some point, Brock Lesnar says something about you ain't earned shit, bitch, or something like that to Roman Reigns, which got bleeped. And you can see the look across Angle and Heyman's face, and you have to watch Roman try and keep it together while Lesnar slowly realizes he shouldn't have said that, and then very much tones it way down to the next couple lines he has. But Joe just came. Joe's like a gas on a fire. He came down and everything just went off the rails. And he started picking shots. He started picking fights. He started just setting things on a whole other path. And it was great. And I enjoyed the majority of the segment. Just not when Roman Reigns coming down. I want title shot, me big dog. So yeah, it was. I was laughing. I was clapping a little to myself. Very enjoyable with Joe. Very much enjoyable.
So I think I can sum up my thoughts on this. I really like this spot in a vacuum. What I mean by that is, if you ignore everything else that's been happening, this was good. I like the delivery. I like the content. Most of it made actually a lot of sense. Except for Joe thinking he has Lesnar's number. That didn't. To me, that didn't really jive, because it's not like they did a fuck finish at the pay-per-view or anything.
You gave him an evil glare, man. That's supposed to sell everything.
Yeah, that's not good. Do a different ending to that match if you really want this to work. For example, perfect ending here. Joe's got the Coquina clutch locked in on Lesnar. Lesnar rolls over, pins Joe's shoulders to the mat while he's being choked. Gets choked out. Boom. There you go. Bam. Perfect. They didn't do that, of course.
No.
Now, my problem is that if we take this out of a vacuum, number one, the end result of this is Joe versus Reigns for number one contender shot at Lesnar's title. Problem one, both these guys are coming off of losses at the pay-per-view. Joe lost to Lesnar, fair enough, but Roman lost to Braun Strowman, which we're kind of forgetting because of the whole
No, they didn't forget.
Post-match. And part two is, so Roman Reigns has defied authority, has not really provided any rationale for his actions, has attempted murder. And the response from WWE Authority, in the form of Kurt Angle, is next week you get a number one contenders match.
Correct.
Everyone start trying to murder your co-workers, because that's clearly how you get attention in this company.
Well, I did like the fact, they mentioned straight up, listen, Strowman refused medical treatment, wandered off, we ain't seen him, we don't know where the hell he is, we don't know when he's coming back, we don't have a clue.
By the way, repetitively telling us we'll have an update on Braun Strowman only to never actually give us an update.
Yeah. Oh, were they saying that on commentary?
Yep.
Oh,
like several packages like, Kurt Angle will have an update on Braun Strowman's condition, and
well, that was the update.
I mean, we never got that.
Yeah. So, second of all, I like the fact that Roman came out and said, "Listen, you assholes, you old hypocrite fucks. You're part of the Attitude Era. You did all kinds of crazy shit. I mean, somebody drove a beer truck into the ring area.
It's just that's not quite the same as trying to kill someone, though.
Well, I think Kane might have tried to kill a few people.
True, but I'm just saying, at no point did Kurt Angle try to murder someone, and at no point did Paul Heyman. Like, if this were hell, even the Big Show standing in there trying to pass judgment, I'd be behind you, because Big Show did throw Kurt Angle off of, like, I can't remember what it was. It was like some deal. Basically, put him in a wheelchair, though.
Kurt Angle did try to murder the boss's son with a horrific suplex through some glass that didn't break.
It's a bit different than trying to kill someone with an ambulance, though. Just saying.
Maybe, possibly, but it's
like. Do you recall when we recapped the pay-per-view? We were talking about how there should be like a suspension in here or something, and that's kind of what I mean. Is like this resolution to this whole thing has left me very salty.
Fair enough. I do enjoy the fact that they at least they attempt some rationale as to why. Like, well, I mean, what do you want my case where you guys done some dirty shit, old hypocrite man. So I enjoy the fact that they at least went so far as to try to provide something, rather than just ignoring it and moving on like they did last time he tried to commit murder.
True. I will give you that. And the other thing I didn't really like was Kurt Angle looking so panicked with them like squaring off. It's like, dude, you're an Olympic gold medalist. Just fucking, you and Lesnar just take one and just slam them both. Boom, done. Like that's how that should have gone. But okay.
Well, he can't do that yet. He hasn't. Apparently, for really real talk, Angle hasn't even had a physical. Like, they haven't even gone so far as to see if he can do anything. So, well, I don't think he's allowed to do anything.
Like, you can just threaten it, though. Like, I mean, this guy is still one of, if not the biggest badass of the last 20 years.
Well, I mean, he's done that but he's also trying to sell Lesnar as an actual threat, and Roman as an actual threat, regardless of how that actually works out. But you'll notice that he straight up told Miz and Maurice, like, you better watch your fucking mouth, because I will stretch the shit out of you. And threatened that way. But he's trying to get Lesnar... or not really Lesnar, but he's trying to get...
Or Joe and Reigns in this case.
Joe and Reigns over, yeah.
Fair enough. Still didn't like it, though. You have a badass GM.
So racist.
Have him feel different than the other GMs, I guess, in a nutshell.
Yeah.
He really... Well, I mean... He doesn't.
I kind of classify Angle at this point in the same category as Daniel Bryan. I mean, you're not supposed to be doing things for medical reasons.
Mm-hmm. But just, I don't know, not even have some confidence, I guess. That's kind of my thing, is watching Kurt Angle be so freaking nervous when dealing with all these wrestlers. it's in my craw. That's just really all I can say.
Your kids and your crotches.
I didn't say crotch. I said craw.
Yeah, might as well.
Then we had a Rusev and Cena package for their flag match, and then we had Kurt Angle and Corey Graves backstage. More about this mysterious storyline, which apparently we're getting a resolution next week.
Yeah.
Basically, Kurt really nervous. He could lose his family, he could lose his career if this goes public, whatever it is. Corey Graves thinks he's overreacting and everything is going to be just fine.
It'll be fine.
Then we have a tag match, Akira Tozawa with Titus O'Neil and Cedric Alexander versus Noam Dar with Alicia Fox and Neville.
Okay.
Take it away.
Honestly, I didn't really pay attention much to the match. It was just another one of those matches that happened to have these people in it. Tozawa seemed to... They're really pushing Tozawa to a lesser extent. They're trying to push Cedric, and that's pretty much how the match played out, for lack of specifics. It was... you got some offense from Neville. You got virtually no offense from Noam Dar, from what I remember.
Because he doesn't belong here.
Yeah. And you got more offense from Cedric Alexander with a super soft suicide dive. That was pretty weak. And more, just more Tozawa being Tozawa, which is awesome.
Only thing I really have to add to that is I did like Alicia Fox saying Cedric has a booger. It made me chuckle.
Well, I thought that she was saying that to somebody in the crowd.
I think it was supposed to be for Cedric, but I mean, it could have been the crowd too. And aside from that, the cruiserweights are really selling ropes to the balls right now, because we had two separate spots where Akira got crotched on the turnbuckle and is like, oh! Or was it Cedric?
They sat there a long time.
Cedric got crotched on the turnbuckle and really sold the fuck out of that.
Oh, no, it was Neville. Neville was the one on the turn.
No. Cedric was on the turnbuckle. Neville was on the rope.
Oh, okay, yeah. But Neville sat on that rope for 3 minutes.
I'm not really down with this because, I mean, don't get me wrong. Rope to the ball should hurt. Turnbuckle to the ball should hurt. But we have a long history of this not really even being a finish to a match, and now it paralyzes you for a good 3 minutes. Not a fan. So didn't like the finish. Didn't like the finish at the pay-per-view either. And moving on. We're also going to get an I Quit match between Noam Dar and Cedric Alexander, which will not be the blow-off match somehow.
Yeah.
Oh boy. The heel side of the 205 roster is looking real bad with Austin Aries gone. And then we had a Seth Rollins backstage package. Wasn't really much here other than he didn't help Ambrose. He just went out to shut Miz up. And we get a Bray Wyatt spooky promo.
He flubbed his lines.
Right into his entrance. Who flubbed? Rollins or Bray?
Yeah, Rollins just fucked his lines. I managed to try to do that pretty good. Did pretty well.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming up, bud.
Then we had Bray Wyatt versus Seth Rollins. This match was fine, but it was the pay-per-view match with some throwing in of a Bray Wyatt hand injury and more blinding Rollins for the pin.
I
didn't do much really for the feud.
I think I vaguely ignored the first third of this match and went, holy fuck, how long is this match? And then skipped through it until we got the run-in, and that was pretty much it. I didn't care about the one on the pay-per-view. Don't give a shit about this one.
That's kind of the thing. If you really like the one on the pay-per-view, probably really like this one, but we're not in that boat.
Yarp.
Then we had the Miztourage come through the crowd to beat up Rollins, and Ambrose makes the save avec le chair and laid into Bo Dallas and the Miz.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose still has never learned how to run, which is kind of weird.
He knows how to run. This is his character run, which is so bad. Also, dumb face moment number 2 for the night. Ambrose should have made this save faster, because the Miztourage attacking Rollins was the most like telegraphed thing on the planet. Like you should have just been like standing at Gorilla's position with a fucking chair and be like, and you know, if they make a move, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to smash them. That's how that should work. And I've said this is a long time problem with WWE is that face saves always come way too late. I understand you want to get a little bit of sympathy on the face that's getting beaten up. I understand that there's a logic to it, but in this particular case, like the Miztourage surrounds the ring, takes their time getting in there, beats up Rollins for a good chunk, and then the save comes. And it's like these need to be faster. Like I understand you want me to feel sympathy for the face. I'm feeling sympathy for the face because I think their IQ might be actually too low to function in society.
Yeah. You know, what they really need to do is, okay, the heels show up, kick the shit out of it. They pull like 2 finishers. By the time the second finisher hits, the face should be out there to make the save.
Also, I will say at least they're having faces make saves, because I remember back in like the Evolution days where it's like, and we beat down the face, and it's like, and none of the other faces are coming to help. Like, Jesus Christ. I miss old booking, like 80s, 90s booking where, you know what, the other faces like each other. And we somewhere along the line forgot that. And the problem with that is if the faces don't like each other, why the hell am I supposed to like them?
Also correct.
So, not a good ending. Well, that's not the ending. We did get Kurt Angle talking on the phone saying that someone should be coming next week. So, I'm looking forward to that.
Speculation is that it's Stephanie McMahon. Which is weird.
The other speculation I heard was that it's Dixie Carter, which would be hilarious.
That would be kind of funny and dumb.
It'd be really dumb, but I mean, she is in his documentary.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, there's some good stuff here. Goldust is working some really good stuff. I think, honestly, that might be it. The ladies' match was actually pretty good. The Heyman-Lesnar stuff and Angle and Joe and Reigns actually was pretty good.
Specifically Joe.
I would say everyone held up their own except for Angle, really.
Yeah.
The Angle drama might be interesting depending on what the payoff is. Everything else was not very good. The honestly, cast without Enzo seems a bit lame. I mean, I've seen him do promos solo in NXT, and he's not that bad. So hopefully, this is a one-off, and he can recover and come out from underneath the pressure. And if that happens, great. If that doesn't happen, well, you broke up a tag team for nothing.
Yep. Because you damn Skippy, they're not going to push Enzo, even though he's where the money is.
I don't really find Enzo as where the money is as a wrestler, but Enzo, the manager, is so much money. And it goes back to, again, why would you break the tag team up? Like, if you want Cass to do a singles run, give him a manager. Like, this is the thing. Paul Heyman makes the Brock Lesnar act that much better. It's so good. A manager, the right manager, to be clear, can do a lot for you. And if you need another example, it's like, oh, well, that's Paul Heyman. He's amazing. Titus O'Neil is doing so much for both Apollo Crews and Akira Tozawa.
Yeah.
And you can't tell me that he was like this great veteran of, like, no, this is the first time in his life he's been over. Like, you can do a lot with the manager. Rusev Lana, another example, another silly one that they broke up. Even Maurice to an extent with Miz. Yeah, I mean, I would say actually at this point managers are actually even more important in the universe, and we're having less and less of them.
Yeah, don't really
get why.
Since Vince can't book faces, the only alternative is to have a manager.
Also, that's a great way to use your really, really attractive ladies as valets so they don't have to wrestle.
Yep.
Like, for example, as much as I hate the Cedric Alexander-Noam Dar feud, and God, please let it end, guess what? We found a use for Alicia Fox that doesn't involve her injuring girls.
Or herself.
Yeah, well, she still did injure herself.
That's correct.
But I'm not worried about her safety as much as others.
Also correct.
But yeah, I mean, you can do a lot of things. You know, Enzo, the manager, is money. The wrestler, not so much. I've always said this. I'm not a keen fan of him in the ring. And being that small, I need something from you in the ring that he doesn't have. But as a tag team specialist / manager, so much money. So much money.
But I mean, he's great at just grabbing all the sympathy in the world. So as a tag team, they were perfect. They were made for each other.
Yeah. So that's all I got. I hope everyone enjoyed. And hopefully SmackDown tomorrow is a better performance.
Better than the last 3 weeks they've had SmackDown, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm not exactly hopeful, but let's hope. Let's cross our fingers and hope.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll talk to you guys tomorrow about SmackDown, and maybe 205 Live, or we may save that for Wednesday.
Maybe.
So until then, get off Byron's lawn. You're tracking a bunch of mud on there, and he doesn't
Get
appreciate
away from
that.
the hibiscus.
He doesn't appreciate that. He spent a lot of money on that lawn, making it all pretty.
I had my people working on it.
Mm-hmm. He had lots of Mexican slave indentured labor.
Whoa. You're Nicaraguan, okay?
Wow, I mean, you couldn't even spring for, like, Guyanese.
Those are very, very exotic, and they wilt in the Canadian coldness.
I suppose that would be the case. The only Guyanese person I've ever met is always complaining about the cold, even in the middle of summer, so that's probably true.
Even down in tropical Toronto.
Well, she lives in Oakville.
Same thing.
Kind of, I guess. I'll leave it at that. So, we'll talk to you tomorrow.